What's up, guys? We're here at the Kentucky Welding Institute today, and we are joined by Wyatt Hanson. He is one of the top welders in the country. He competed at the World Skills in Lyon, France last September, and he's here at KWI today to check out what we're all about and also film some awesome videos for you guys wanting to learn how to get better at Skills USA competition and knowing some tips and tricks from one of the best welders in the world. So we're gonna go back to the KWI experience, show Wyatt what we're all about and what we do, and get in depth. What are you most excited for about your KWI experience? Like, what are you curious about?
I'm just learning how the school works, learning how, the instructors, how they go about teaching, you know what I mean? Because I've been to a couple of different colleges, like different technical schools, and it's really interesting to see how the different schools teach their curriculum and whatnot.
Interesting, yeah. And then I guess another thing too is you can kind of see where you might fit into the future of welding, with possibly going to a school of your choice or just seeing how things operate and maybe where you can learn how to do things.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and check out the studio, Wyatt. Now again, Wyatt hasn't been here yet, so this is your first time seeing the school for what it is. So these are our instructor job boxes. This is where the instructors can keep their tools, and they don't have like a typical desk that they would go sit in and hide in. Like, they're out with the students each day, working on the booths, working out in the simulators, and they're just, they're not gonna sit down. They're paid to help you, and you paid to be here. So
There you go.
over here is our lock in, lock out, tag in, tag out. So that's how we keep attendance here, just like in the industry. When you go on a job site, you're gonna have to lock in so that you're not in a dangerous situation. So we do that here at KWI to make it like the real world.
There you go.
So here is a typical booth at KWI. Each student gets their own table, their own space to weld in, their own welding machine. Now, you may not have this same welding machine for the full KWI experience. You might be in this booth this week, you may be in that booth next week. But again, it's your booth. You don't share it with nobody, no one else wastes your time. You can go your own speed and work as fast as you want to get as most out of KWI as you can.
Get your own environment, different welders, different things to try and play with.
And we have Millers and Lincolns here, so that helps our students to get a better feel of what it's like gonna be in the industry, because as you know, you're not always gonna have the same welding machine and the same stuff to work with.
Exactly.
So we like to switch it up, making them very versatile, and it challenges our students. So back here is kind of like our open area. This is where we do, pipe simulations. We have a boiler simulator right there. Students can crawl inside and see what it's like to weld in a boiler.
Or check this thing out.
Yeah. So again, it mimics a boiler. So on the inside, we have the spider cage there. They can move it up and down to weld the different, tubes at the different heights. Here is the water wall slope, so students can see what it's like to cut tubes out and weld, in the 6G position, or in the 45. And then we have the header right here. The students can put their coupons inside of and weld those out, as well as putting them back in those situations. So everything we do here is to mimic the real world experience. So, and again, with the new building happening and all, it's gonna be even better.
Yeah.
So we'll go outside and check out our outside studio or outside weld lab.
I like that boiler setup, the simulator. I like that.
So out here, the students can see what it's like to weld off of generator welding machines. They also have a pipe rack to climb up in. So on job sites, you'll have to climb into a pipe rack. You'll have to go up, harness up and go up a lot higher than what you're normally used to welding in it. Also, our students, they cut and they prep their own metal. That's a really big deal, because there's a lot of places out there that'll cut and prep your metal for you. The problem with that is when you get on the job site, you're not always gonna have someone doing it for you. So
yeah, exactly. You gotta be able to.
Right, you have to be able to cut your metal, prep your metal, just like you did a minute ago. You have to know how to cut with a plasma, you have to know how to cut with a torch, you have to know how to bevel pipe with a grinder wheel and prep it with a grinder wheel. So that's a big thing for us, is making our students as self-helping,
self-sufficient.
Yeah, self-sufficient as they can. because the more that you have to ask somebody else for something or help,
Less valuable.
less valuable. So the more that you can do, the more that you know, it provides more value to yourself as a welder. And that's what we're all about here at KWI, is making you, the individual, as valuable as you can be, so that whenever you go out in the industry, you can make the most money possible. So that's what the whole KWI experience is just making you valuable so that you can go out, provide for yourself, your family, and whatever you want to do in life. So
you guys provide all the equipment to cut out pipe and do all that, lay out and everything?
Yep, so each student gets a 7-gallon bucket full of all the tools that they need to be here at KWI, and then they get to keep those when they go into the industry. Nice. So everything is provided here at KWI. The only thing that you have to bring is a pair of pants and boots, and we cover your jacket, your welding hood, glasses, earplugs, everything at KWI.
And all you got to bring too is a good attitude and getting ready to learn experience.
And that's a big thing too. If you don't have the attitude to be here, you're probably not going to make it that far at KWI. As you know, it takes a really good attitude and a positive mindset to go to World Skills to do those things too. Yep. You probably know better than anybody else. If you don't have a good mindset doing something that involved, it's not going to go really well.
Yeah, it'll go really poorly really fast.
Right, and so I think mindset's a really big thing in the world today, and so that's something that we also work on as well with personal finance and things like that, is just helping our students to understand, listen, sure, anybody can teach you how to weld and anybody can, provide you with metal and things like that, but also
there's a lot more.
There's a lot more than just welding on a job site, and the experience here at KWI, as well as prepping the metal and getting in simulators, is part of the real world experience that we offer here at KWI. All right, so here is our classroom, Wyatt. This is where students, for 1 hour a day for their first 3 months, will learn about blueprint reading. They'll learn about pipe takeoffs, how to fit pipe, how to rig and signal for cranes. Pretty much all of our paper hands-on test is going to be in here. One of the cool things about the KWI experience is all of our students that come to us to learn how to weld, and all of our students that leave get a little bit of a pin. So what that means is the red is where the students are from, the blue is where the students have went to a job. So we've had students work in Hawaii, we've had students work in an oil rig, one over in Europe, but just pretty much all over the country. So that's the cool thing about KWI, is it's not only for people in Kentucky, it's for people all over the country and honestly the world. And that's one of the special things about KWI is we're not appealing to everybody. We don't want everybody here. Not everybody will be able to handle the hardcore experience that is KWI. So that's why it's so spread out, because we only want to appeal to people who are like us and who love welding and want to take welding and provide for themselves, their life, their family, and things like that. So these are our 2 offices, Jackie and Laura, they're awesome, as well as Skylar in the back office. So those ladies take care of everything at KWI, make sure everything's smooth, runs smooth. As you can see here, this is what you're gonna get when you start KWI. So every student gets a 7-gallon bucket full of all the tools they need, as well as a helmet, a jacket,
grinder, TIG rig.
TIG rig, everything that they need to complete their experience here at KWI and be with us for 6 months. So again, this is just the classroom, and you won't spend too much time here, but at least 1 hour a day for the first 3 months. This is where you're going to be learning, small hands-on things, and as well as the mental aspect of welding and how it really works. And then also right here is our 100K wall. So students within their first year of graduating, if they make $100,000, which is decently pretty easy nowadays, just because the money's went up and there's less welders who are qualified to do things. Graduates can put their hood on the wall if they make 100K in under a year, their first year out welding. So we have a decent amount of students, but since 2015 we've had a lot of students, but this is the ones that have really hit the ground running right after graduating. So we reward those individuals because it's pretty awesome whenever you can graduate a trade school and make $100,000. So we reward those guys for putting the helmet on the wall and then going and doing a welding podcast with those guys, kind of like we'll be doing the next couple of days. And also back here is just our storage area. That's where we keep a lot of our hoods, hats, tools, things like that. And we sell several TIG rigs, shirts and everything online. So if you want to find out more about things that you can purchase from our store, check it out, KWI.us. We have everything that you can get there, and we'll ship it out to you. So we got pretty good deals on TIG rigs, helmets, hoods, hats, everything. So
there you go.